Hello and welcome to live coverage of the $5,000 Modern Open hosted by Apex Gaming. This is also an Apex Invitational qualifier with 2 slots. This is also a regional championship qualifier with 2 slots. We got 1 slot, excuse me. We got 4 people left in the event. Ross, you want to give us a breakdown of what's going on?
Yeah, so this is the key round if these players want to get to that Apex Invitational in November, and it is a battle of 2 modern titans. We've got Yawgmoth against Murktide on one side of the bracket, and Yawgmoth against Murktide on the other side of the bracket.
Well, it seems like those were, 2 of the 4 biggest decks today, and outside of like creativity, just kind of crashing and burning before the top 8, I don't think it's much of a surprise to see, at least one of these decks in the top 4. But the fact that it's 2v2 in the last 4 people standing means that like they just chose right. I guess they just hit the nail on the head.
On the one side of the bracket, we've got our 1 seed Brandon Carpenter. He's the Yawgmoth player there against John Tagliarini, the 4 seed. So Carpenter going to be on the play. And then on the other side of the bracket, this is the matchup we're going to be starting with. We have our 7 seed Ryan Winans, the Murktide player we saw last round, dispatch Travis Brown against it Gabriel Abadi, one of the fixtures of the Apex series. He is the Yawgmoth player in that matchup. Abadi, the 3 seed. So both Yawgmoth players going to be on the play. That seems really important.
Yeah, for sure. I also think that Abadi's build featuring those arboreal grazers and way fewer of the 1-mana creatures that are vulnerable to lightning bolt and unholy heat, I actually am picking Abadi to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I like Abadi here. I think if he gets to Brandon Carpenter in the finals, it could be tough because he'll be on the draw.
Okay.
In the Yawgmoth mirror.
Okay.
But if Tagliarini can take out Carpenter for him and he can just sail through these 2 Murktide players with his arboreal grazers, it could be a good day for Gabriel.
All right, well, the players are ready in the feature match area. Let's head on down. Don't make them wait any longer. We're going to go ahead and get started with our top 4 here at the $5,000 Modern Open hosted by Apex Gaming. Shout out to our sponsor, G Fuel Energy Formula, for keeping us hydrated. Thanks to Ultimate Guard for giving us a ton of swag, as well as Wings, etc., for providing us with some much-needed fuel in an hour or 2. But we're underway. Body going to be on the play. No play on 1. Decides to go fetching for a tapped Overgrown Tomb. Winans, no play on 1 either. Probably has some sort of removal spell or at the ready, lightning bolt or some such.
Yeah. Now, notably in Abadi's list, we talked about the arboreal grazers. Does have the 1 endurance in the main. That'll be helpful in this matchup. Has the Hapatra. That doesn't seem like a great flex card for this matchup in particular. But other than that, like pretty typical stuff. The arboreal grazers sort of come along with Colony Garden and Golgari Rot Farms. In higher numbers, there's 2 Rot Farm, 3 Colony Garden. Sometimes you see those in lists with mana creatures, but way more often with the arboreal grazers, and there we see that Rot Farm.
Yeah, so turn 2 play from Abadi is that Golgari Rot Farm, so it's going to give him essentially a free land drop. No punishes out of this Murktide deck other than something like Blood Moon, but is Ryan Winans playing any of those in his main deck?
I do not believe he is. Most of our Murktide players have eschewed main deck Blood Moon. Yeah.
Is that how you say it? I think we've done this before. I always thought it was a skew.
I would assume it is Winans, but that is an assumption.
Whatever.
We got 1 Brazen Borrower as the cool flex card in the list, a couple Spell Pierces, but other than that, a lot of 4-ofs, 3 Murktide Regents.
All right, both players at 19 life.
Winans not messing around, just playing best deck, best list. Let's go.
The stock. Look, it's stock for a reason. It's because it beats everybody. Quarter calling the draw for a body. No creatures played on turn 1 or 2. Both players should be at 19.
See a Wall of Roots over there, so this might be a big turn for a body if the wall resolves. He can double spell with it.
Let's see if Winans wants to counter.
Interesting that a body would shock first. I think he wanted to play a Strangle Geist. Yeah, now just sort of cost himself 2 life. We'll see if that comes back to bite him.
All right, Winans here with a grip full of red cards.
I love that counter spell, by the way, from Winans.
Same.
I think, Wall of Roots is one of the most important cards in this Yawgmoth deck. Your opponent has been very slow out of the gates. Yeah, we need double green for that game.
All right, here comes an attack for 2. See if Ryan wants to interact with it. He can just play 2 removal spells to kill it. Here comes an Unholy Heat. Okay. Second main, we're going to play a Blood Artist. Now, does Ryan want to go Fetch Shock Bolt on the Strangle Geist?
If so, you'd want to do that in response to the Blood Artist. Avoid that trigger.
Might want to kill the Blood Artist, though. With only one in the deck most of the time, killing this means that the potential for Yawgmoth to straight up kill you when it comes into play is lessened.
Very, very true.
And we are shocking, so this seems like we are going to be playing a Bolt, and I'm not sure if this is in response to the Blood Artist yet, but we'll know in just a moment.
So, I'm not sure what else is left in Winan's hand. I think I saw an iteration. Yep, there it is.
An Otawara and a couple of blue cards, maybe like Murktide Region or something at the top end. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. So now it's sort of getting punished for using the Burn spell on the Stranglegeist. So you are now going after the Blood Artist, and now this Geist is just bigger, and it's just going to pressure you.
All right, so it looks like we have Expressive Iteration. See what we find. Darcy land. So we can go Darcy hand, Darcy bottom, play the land, and now maybe play a Ledger Shredder, or Darcy with 1 mana up. Decides to pass the turn. A sign of a 2 mana interactive piece for sure.
AKA Counterspell.
Yeah, here's Yawgmoth. We'll see if Ryan wants to bite.
Body sniffs out the counterspell, plays a somewhat weak card, isn't just going to tap out for one big threat and let his opponent have a good tempo positive turn.
Has Court of Calling, gonna go for Endurance here in response to the fetch land, and that's gonna neuter the strength of something like Murktide Regent here. All those gonna go on the bottom in response to the fetch.
I was really hoping they weren't going to shuffle for the Endurance and then resolve the fetch. That would have been... I guess it goes in the bottom, doesn't shuffle in.
Well, now it gets shuffled in.
Yeah.
And so all those lands that were fetched in the first couple turns are put back into the deck.
I was thinking creativity. That's the one that makes you shuffle after.
All right, fetches an island. Interesting.
You got 2 red sources. That's basically all you need.
But if you're not using the mana and you don't have Blood Moon in your deck, shouldn't you just be going to get tap Steam Vents?
Probably.
Maybe you want to keep Steam Vents in your deck because they're fetchable with these weirdo mono blue lands like the Flutterstrand.
All that. But I think you just have all blue fetches and all island lands.
Sure.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Here's the Ledger Shredder. We did talk about the 1 mountain that was in TJ's build from round number 1, but I'm not sure if Winans has a mountain in his deck. Probably not.
Nah. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, here's Ledger Shredder into Darcy. That's going to get a loot. What do we want to discard?
That's a Ragavan off the top. I think that'll be hitting the bin.
Doesn't look great in the face of a Yawgmoth.
Yeah. Monkeys and wolves are natural enemies. We all know that. Oh, instead ditches the Murktide region. I can understand the reasoning there. Your graveyard just got nuked. You're not going to be able to cast it for a while, but you will eventually cast it, and it will be better than the Ragavan.
All right. Draws Blooming Marsh for the turn. That's going to enter tapped, and a body can react here in response to the fetch with a Court of Calling.
Winans fetches and takes down the... Winans getting a little sloppy with his fetch lands. When your opponent has instant speed interaction, sometimes you just want to wait and do that on your upkeep.
Yeah, and now we can go bounce my creatures back and forth, draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, we'll start by killing your DRC. I guess that will force us to use our own Endurance. We're basically trading DRC for an Endurance.
I'm cool just like not doing anything else and just forcing Ryan to have the answer to Yawgmoth before you make any other plays.
Yeah.
And then once you go for the Yawgmoth kill, then you just go, okay, Endurance on one of my things, bounce my creatures back and forth, draw 9 cards, untap, kill you.
Yeah, I love that, and that's what Abadi is doing. He has been very crisp with this Yawgmoth deck all day.
Certainly helps a body that Winans just keeps fetching in weird spots and just getting mondo punished.
Yeah, Winans has played this game on autopilot, and his body has had to punish every time. It's the end of a long day.
Oh, yeah. Now, Winans does have a Ragavan in hand and a counterspell at least, and just packs it in. Can't overcome the power of Yawgmoth and 1-0 to Gabe and Body. These players are going to be taking a look at their sideboards, and Ross is going to be taking a look at their sideboards along with them, and he's going to give us his expert analysis on what those players are going to be doing. So, Ross, do your thing.
Okay, Ryan Winans here going to be on the play for game 2, has the options to bring in these 15 cards. We got 2 Blood Moon, 2 Dress Down, 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Flusterstorm, 3 Force of Negation. We saw that be very important against Travis Brown in the quarters.
Yep.
1 Fury, 1 Dispute, 1 Abrade, and 1 Subtlety. I like The Fury's not even that good. We got all these Arboreal Grazers on the other side. I still think it's still an answer to a Yawgmoth, even if it's not a great one. I think I like the subtlety.
Yeah, I do too. I think hardcasting the Yawgmoth is occasionally awkward and needs to be hit with like actual counterspell, but having subtlety means that you can effectively tap out, and then at that point you're only really afraid of Court of Calling.
Yeah. And I also like the Dress Down. Dress Down can team up with a burn spell to kill a Strangler Geist or a Yawgmoth, and you only lose, you're trading 1 for 1. Okay. So it's tempo negative, and it can also, just hold off things like Yawgmoth for a turn. So I think I would bring in the Dress Downs as well.
It's really interesting to me how mediocre the spot removal looks against this build from a body. Like this is the new wave of Yawgmoth, right? The Arboreal Grazers, the bounce lands, right? So like, what is the best way to punish that? And honestly, it might just be Blood Moon.
It could be, yeah.
If they don't have Birds of Paradise, right? And if they like don't have many ways outside of basic swamp, to play their black spells, I think that something like Blood Moon could be a heads up sideboard option for the Murktide deck, since it feels like maybe you need a Hail Mary.
Yeah, a body has 2 forest, 1 swamp in the list, and looks like 6 fetch lands.
Yeah, but how many ways to make black without the actual swamp?
Oh, none.
Under Blood Moon, it's like none. Like no creatures tap black.
It has 2 Ignoble Hierarchs.
Okay, so 2 Ignoble Hierarchs are the exception. Those are prime targets for spot removal.
Okay,
so.
I'm in. You've convinced me. Bring in the Blood Moons.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if Winans wants to go that route. Okay. I'm not sure on it, but it seems interesting at least.
Looking at a body sideboard, I see 1 Crime Punishment, 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Force of Vigor, 1 Phyrexian Metamorph, 3 more copies of Endurance in addition to the one in the main, 1 Haywire Might, 1 Ratchet Bomb, and 1 Shieldred. I like the Thoughtseizes against the counterspell deck. I like the Endurances. I like the Shieldred.
I like the Shieldred as well. I think it shines in matchups that have a bunch of spot removal. Even though it can die, it's usually the last card you play from hand in a long sequence of trades. And if it ever survives for more than a turn, it's devastating to Murktide because of all those considers and Ledger Shredders, Baubles, etc., etc.
I wonder if we will see a body bring in something like a Haywire Might just to potentially have an answer to a Blood Moon. If he's already thought about the way he's changed his deck makes me weak to Blood Moon, so I need to bring in an answer where I otherwise would ignore it. I don't think I would. I think I would just really look to aggressively fetch for my basics. But a body might feel differently.
All right, so as these players shuffle up here for game number 2, we have a body on your right, one of the pair brothers. The Body Brothers, they come to all the Apex events. I like talking to them. I like hanging out with them. They're cool folks. And currently up a game against Ryan Wienans here in the semifinals. The first place prize for this event is $1,500 cash. First place gets an invite to the regional championship in Atlanta later this year. The top 2 get invited to the Apex Gaming Invitational later this year as well. So a lot on the line for these players right now.
Yeah, this is the big round because, as much as you like getting a good chunk of change, we're not here playing Magic to get rich. We're playing for glory.
I'm trying to get both. It's not working out.
Hey, you can't get in the booth if you haven't subsisted on a bit of glory in your day.
All I know is I made top 64 of a 1,200 person event recently, and they handed me $100.
That was nice of them.
Yeah. All right, here's turn 1. Dragon Race Channeler, Ryan Winans leading it off here with some aggression. Has Bobble to trigger the Travail, so it could have Delirium next turn.
That's a
Considers on the top. What you doing there? Graveyard.
Damn it. We got a Grazer and a Wall of Roots in a body's hand.
Keeps the land. Looks like he probably needs it. Oh, bends it. Okay, maybe doesn't need it. Gonna take a peek at your top card. That's a Strangler Geist.
Okay, so it looks like a pretty solid hand from a body. He can go turn 1, Grazer, put a land into play, then turn 2, Wall of Roots plus Strangler Geist, and then has Yawgmoth. I just got a peek of that. Could potentially go into turn 3 Yawgmoth.
All right, a body gonna go turn 1 Arboreal Grazer, aka blocks Diamond, and fetching the forest here. So
aggressively gets a basic.
Love it. Burning Catacombs is the land to play.
I wonder if that one will get a swamp.
I mean, I would imagine.
If that one gets a swamp, then you know a body is cognizant of Blood Moon, and that he's been Blood Moon before playing this version of the deck.
All right, a body passes the turn, and we're going to go back to Wine and Toilet. Let's see if he remembers his bobble trigger. He is taking a peek at a body's top card again.
So we should have 2 bobble triggers on the upkeep.
It was just one in the draw. There was a weird sequencing last round.
Turn.
Yeah. Okay, so Winans here found the second land. Might not have had it before this. Very close to Delirium if it's not already turned on. Here's a Consider. We get a Surveil from the DRC. It's a counterspell. Probably want to keep that one on top, but maybe needs to bin it.
Keeps it. So we have land, instant, artifact. Another Consider.
Another artifact. Not great.
That engineering explosive, it's not even good.
Yeah, just bin it. Just bin it, and you get one more Surveil from the Consider itself, because this is from the Darcy, and then you can hit it.
Your opponent played Arboreal Grazer.
All right, now we get Consider resolving. Top card. Is this going to be Delirium? It is not. Draw a card as a bolt. We got land, artifact, instant. No creature, no sorcery.
Look at all these cards that Winans drawn that just normally are very good in this matchup, that look embarrassing in the face of Arboreal Grazer.
All right, gonna fetch here. Let's see what he goes and gets. Probably Swamp to player on Blood Moon. Body heads up player. I'm sure he's got the fear just like me. Every time you see an opponent playing a red deck, you have to think, oh man, hope I don't get Blood Moon next turn.
Yeah, he's thinking about it, but he's got the Swamp pulled to the front of the deck. Ooh, goes for the Overgrown Tomb. Okay.
All right, has Boseiju in hand, so I'm probably not that worried about the Blood Moon if it does come down.
But is Boseiju his only land to play here?
Maybe. Don't worry about it. Once you let someone else worry about that.
Maybe he just thinks one black source doesn't really do anything, and between Wall of Roots and Forest, he has 2 green sources.
Yep. All right. Here's Wall of Roots. Going to use the mana off that to play either Yawgmoth, or we're going to play Boseiju and play Stringer Geist.
I like jamming.
All right. Do we attack? Yes, we do.
Slam.
Come on, a slam.
Welcome to the jam.
There's 2. 16. Back your way, Ryan. Draws for turn. It's a land. Did he need it? I think he did. And looks good. Counterspell, Expressive Iteration, maybe a Subtlety, Lightning Bolt. Here's an iteration. We're going to get a Surveil off the Darcy. Let's see if he remembers.
This will get us to Delirium.
Okay. All right. Murktide, land, and something? A Darcy. Okay, so wants to go Darcy Exile. Going to play the Darcy from Exile. Spirebluff Canal cast. Attack for 3.
Slam.
All right.
He drops to 13.
Well, shields are down. Do your worst, Gabe. Now, there is a Subtlety in hand for Ryan, I think, so a hard cast Yawgmoth might not get there, but that's the card he drew.
I just drew Yawg. He has the cord, though, but he only has 1 black source, so I think he's forced to cord anyway, which is better. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe just going to go 1 mana off the wall, Yawgmoth, and then we can cord for 4 on Ryan's turn.
Yeah, but why wouldn't we just want to do that when he's tapped out? Oh, yep.
Just miscounted.
Oh, no, he miscounted.
Yep.
No, Gabe.
Unfortunate.
That's the game.
Yeah. Could have just done it. Has Subtlety. Is this targeting Yawgmoth? That feels late, but maybe a body just kind of fast forwarded and Ryan said, I would like to respond.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's a lot of verbal communication going on in games like this, and I know that a body like me just plays lightning fast. So a body now has to decide, do I keep it on top or bottom? And with Yawgmoth in hand, I think you just got to put it on the bottom so you get that second black source. Or at least have the chance.
The real problem here is that every turn a body gives him, he's taken 6 damage.
Right.
And your life total matters a whole lot when you're trying to combo with Yawgmoth.
Okay.
Oh, no.
2 Darcys here. Well, the Subtleties put a kink in the plan anyway, right?
Yeah.
Here is Fire Islets. Wienans has an attack for 6 coming. Forced attack. Lightning bolt in hand.
Honestly, I'm sending this bolt at the wall. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And now a body could go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could cord for 3, looking for something like grist. I don't know how good of a play it is, but with the 2 Yawgmoths in hand, I don't know.
Winans, I believe, has another counterspell in hand and just found an Unholy Heat to leave on top.
Okay, gonna go for the cord. Let's see if Winans wants to counter it.
3. What are you? Oh, this is an endurance. Yeah. So if Winans had a counterspell, he needed to use it.
Said he resolved it. I don't know if he had the counterspell. He pitched the counterspell to the subtlety earlier. Oh, wow.
I just assumed he had a second one if he did that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that's what he exiled. And it looks like he has 2 other blue cards in hand. So perhaps a huge misstep from Ryan Winans with the pitch on the subtlety last turn. Body gonna shuffle the deck, but he has a 3/4 blocker. These Darcy's are kind of embarrassing now.
Yeah. Cut your opponent's deck off after the cord.
Okay. I think the lightning bolt should be in the graveyard. Right?
Yes.
Okay. And that matters a little bit. I'm gonna try to stop him real quick. Feel for a sec.
Well, no, he could have said, "Oh no," because he tapped it to convoke. So yeah, it had to have happened with the bolt on the top, or on the stack, I should say. Todd walking out there to talk to the judge, make sure. I'm guessing that this will not be rewound because the cards are already on the bottom of the deck. It's unclear how many of them there were. But maybe the head judge just looks at the bottom until he finds the bottom bolt. Either way, this is not going to make a huge impact on...
No, but it could matter for Delirium for a turn or 2 from now. So I just think that making sure the game state is correct is good. And luckily, it was just like the bottom card. So
Perfect.
All right.
Attacking with the endurance.
Bold. I guess the Darcy's are just 1/1, so whatever.
Almost like attacking with the striker guys. And if it blocks the shredder, now I got a 3/2. From body, like this is the game plan now. We're the beatdown.
All right, see if Winans drew anything relevant. Wants to get Delirium as quickly as possible. I see a red card in hand. It looks like an Unholy Heat.
Yeah, he left Unholy Heat on the top last turn off the Surveils.
Okay.
Which doesn't do a whole lot at this point. I think it's Murktide Unholy Heat. So the endurance was a beating.
Yeah.
And that Murktide should probably have been in the exile zone as opposed to the counterspell.
Okay, so let's see if Winans wants to try to figure it out. We're maybe attacking with everybody here. This will potentially allow for the Murktide to be cast with the Delve if there's a trade.
Don't we just double block the DRC? That way, if you brick, we just trade 1 for 1.
Don't we just not block and just put a 0/3 in front of the 1/3?
I don't know.
Here is Unholy Heat.
We're going to Unholy Heat the Arboreal Grazer.
Seems like
just an embarrassing display.
What are you going to do? All right, so we're going to give one of these an Undying Trigger, and now...
Is that a dress down?
Looks like...
It's a good one for Delirium. So
I agree.
And it's not a good one to cast, so let's get that one in the graveyard.
All right, and then Surveil again. And then we can't loot with the Ledger Shredder yet.
But we can sack the Fiery Islet to get land.
Oh, yeah, we can go... Oh, no, there's just enough in the graveyard now. Unholy Heat plus the 2 Surveils.
So we're just playing the Murktide?
Yep, taking 1, and it's medium-sized. Darcy's still turned off, though.
We got a Connive Trigger. Ooh, missed it.
Yep.
That Connive Trigger could have, put a counter on the Shredder, could have gotten us closer back to Delirium for those DRCs.
Okay. Seems like Ryan is in a firm position right now, but without any defense, a body just needs a black source to deploy a Yawgmoth and potentially win next turn.
Yeah. We talked about playing around the Blood Moon, and now the Forest is punishing him.
Oh, peeled counterspell off the top, and that should lock it up, hopefully, for Ryan Winans. This is only game number 2, and he's down a game.
Well, I don't know if he wins this race.
Oh, I guess we can attack with 2 Strangler-Geist and Endurance and just block with Block's Diamond, huh?
Yeah, I would just block with the Grazer.
Okay. All right, looks like we found a black source. We're gonna shock down to 5. That leaves us vulnerable, but what are you gonna do, huh?
Interesting. Going for the Yawg, that meets the counter spell.
And we get 2 Surveils as well, so they could potentially get Delirium here defensively. We missed. We hit a land. Oh, it's
Engineered explosives.
That's enough to clear the Block's Diamond and attack for lethal next turn. So he's going to leave it.
The Endurance can block too.
That's true. Might have to leave that back.
Still left it on top. I don't really know what that EE is doing.
Maybe do it on 2. You kill the Strangler-Geist in the Wall of Roots.
And your own Shredder.
Yeah. You just jump block with Shredder now, though, and mitigate that damage. Double block's nice. Okay, so now a body probably going to kill the Ledger Shredder and loses the Strangler-Geist.
It does add a 3rd type to Winan's Graveyard.
Yeah, currently just instant land. This will be creature as well.
That's so close to lethal. So you can't EE for 1 to clear out the Grazer because then you'd lose the DRCs. And you can't EE for 3 because you don't have a 3rd color in order to clear out the Endurance.
Body takes out the Darcy. Engineer Explosive is going to be the draw. Let's see if he can find a route to victory here this turn or the next. We're in a forced block situation with one of the reach creatures. If we go E on 1 and kill the Arboreal Grazer, it also kills our Dragon Rage Channeler. But then we have to chump block with the Endurance. Tight game.
Such a weird game.
It is. So low on life that even the Yawgmoth doesn't really feel that scary either.
Yeah. It would have been scary that turn because the body had so many creatures left over. He just needs to find, any sort of cord or...
All right, we're going to go for E on 2.
What the body really needs is a Grist. Grist is the card that would take over this game.
Yeah. Here's a chunk for 5. We're going to chump with the Block's Diamonds. And now, shields are down. What can you do, Gabriel Body?
We have another Yawg in hand, right? Yeah, we've been holding second Yawg.
Ooh, another Endurance as well. Okay, here's the Yawgi.
The other Endurance might have been better. You just double block the Murktide.
All right, so both these creatures die. Strangler-Geist comes back. Ledger Shredder dies from the explosives. I am not sure if there's Delirium. I know there's land, artifact, creature, and instant. Okay, so yeah, there should be Delirium now. And then if we attack for 3, this is a free attack.
Yeah, I would definitely make this trade. Yeah.
Free attack. Might trade here if you're Ryan. So we're just in forced chump block territory with the Endurance. So you just want to constrict the total amount of raw resources that they have.
Winan's at 9, though, can take that attack and then is only facing 5 after the chump block from the Endurance.
Okay. Main phase consider. We're going to get a Surveil as well.
At this point, that should do it.
Bolt. Game number 3 incoming. Ryan Winans finds the perfect card. Both creatures are forced to attack. Can't mess this one up.
Bolt or Unholy Heat would have been great.
Jump. Okay, you take 3. You're at... Oh, Shrinky Dinks.
Yeah.
Still lose a life, though, so... Still going to take lethal from the Bolt.
If we draw a green card here, we can pitched the Endurance and... Yes!
I'm curious.
So now you exile their graveyard. The DRC should have a counter on it, right?
Okay. Oh,
So
and then
it's
it'll
gonna
die before damage.
Yes.
Wow.
Now the DRC dies.
Okay. Darcy's dead because it's -1/-1, and it's down to a 1/1.
Yeah. A body explaining that had a counter on it. We just forgot to put it on.
Yeah. Okay. So not going to sack the Endurance. Going to stay at 4, so not dead to the Bolt.
Just plays around the Bolt beautifully. As it's kind of face up, I guess. But what can... So a Strangler-Geist here?
Yep. And then,
Or another endurance, just a block for a turn.
well, Stranglegeist doesn't do it because then Bolt can just target the creature, right? And then,
Yeah, true.
so what can we do?
But then we get to draw a bunch of cards and try to find something.
Does the Murktide get bigger with the endurance? I thought endurance doesn't exile, and Murktide needs
It leaves your graveyard.
leaves the graveyard. Wow. Well, we got
That's a Yawgmoth.
that ain't it. So we can put him to 1. Maybe sack. Oh, if we sacked it, we'll die to the Bolt. Oh, we can just we can put a counter on it with
Yeah.
proliferate.
And that forces Winans to throw the bolt, and then we get another draw. But what are we drawing to?
Block Simon.
Yeah. Okay. So attack.
Yeah, I mean you can main phase it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everything's face up.
Yeah, a
All right,
body
so
sees
you
it.
Discard this. We proliferate.
And you've got, it doesn't matter when you do, it's going to be 3 toughness. So let's kill that.
All right, so we'll shrink that and we'll draw a card. Is it?
That's Strangleroot Geist.
Oh, it was so close.
Yeah, now we're just 1 short. Because we can play the Geist and sack it, undie it back.
Yeah, still short though. Wow.
Well, what if we've got 2 sacks, we've got 2 cards now. What if we found basic forest plus blocks diamond?
Okay,
And then we attack for 1. Attack for 5, put them to 1.
so we're at 2. What was that? Needs to be a land and the Ouroboros. There's the land.
No, but it's fetch.
Okay, dang, close one.
Oh my god. So close. A body.
The micro lines are real.
One life on either side.
Yeah.
Could have made a difference here.
You have to think a body is just like thinking about the whole game. Did I miss an attack? Did I not attack in a spot with a Stranglegeist or the Endurance? Tough one.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do, Gabe.
All right, so 1-1 even Stevens here. We're going to go to a game number 3. A body going to be on the play for the decider with Golgari Yawgmoth. 602, undefeated on the day so far. Looking good, playing good, finding the cool lines and putting on a show. Just for us.
Really, really tight game there. Just, honestly, it could have been the forest that he fetched on turn 1. That did him in. He was without double black for so long.
True.
And then, of course, the turn that his opponent was tapped out, he miscounted and attacked with the Stranglegeist. That's the real big one. So a body probably got to shake that off. You still got game 3 on the play in a matchup I'm sure he likes. And if you win it, then all is forgiven from game 2.
All right, so the players are shuffling up here for game number 3. This is our semi-finals here. Only 4 players remain in the event. There's 2 Yawgmoth players and 2 Izzet Murktide players. We could have a Murktide mirror in the final. We could have a Golgari Yawgmoth mirror in the final.
Or we could have a 3rd iteration of this matchup, which would be cool because it would mean it was 1-1 in the semis. And now we have to play the rubber game.
Yeah. All right, well, as these players are shuffling up, I want to take this time say thank you again to all the lovely folks at Apex Gaming's home store here in Caldwell, Ohio for putting on not only a great show, but a smooth show. Everyone here seems like very upbeat and happy. I know a lot of times when we go to larger events, there's a lot of delays in the event. There's like problems with like tournament software and such, and long days just are really grinding on the psyche. And that's not what the players have had today. They've had clean, crisp turnaround. They've had great judges. They've had great staff just making this a wonderful event. And we're going to do it all again in just a few months. August 12th and 13th, we're going to be doing this exact same thing again. A 5K modern event on Saturday and a Pioneer 2K event on Sunday, with tons of other side events going constantly where you can win a ton of cash or prize wall tickets to take home awesome things like full art etched Elish Norn large cards and Tyvars, which I want.
Uncut foil sheets.
Uncut foil sheets.
A lot of cool
That's
stuff
nuts.
over there. Now, if you enjoy our commentary right now, we are going to be here tomorrow for a Pioneer 2K. So be sure to tune in for that. The 2 of us will be commentating every single round. When does that start, Director Taryn?
Say it again. Sorry.
When does the Pioneer start tomorrow?
11.
11 a.m. Eastern.
The new start time here at Apex, it used to be noon. Now it's always 11. Bummer.
We're getting too big. Eventually, we're going to have to bump it back to 10.
I know. When we start getting 200 people 5Ks,
Yeah.
we're going to have to bump them up to 10Ks at some point, too.
Love it.
That's the goal, man. I hope so. Apex has constructed an insanely large play area next to their primary store, and we just have room for days. And my hope is that eventually we'll be running a 10K event every single weekend, or sorry, every single month, as we just help the Apex series grow, from the ground up. Everyone around this area loves Apex. People are calling all the time asking if they can be part of the AIQ program. I even had someone, Callie, my wife, she works for Gen Con, and a third party asked if they could run an AIQ at Gen Con.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was sick. I think they were like really late in the application process, so maybe it was a no. But I just thought
It works out.
that's
It'd be
awesome.
great to have that at Gen Con.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Unfortunately for Ryan Winans, looks like he's taking a mulligan to 5 here in the third game of this semifinal match. And I got a bit of a peek at a body's hand. It looked slow. I saw Yawgmoth and 2 endurances, but I'm not sure I saw any Arboreal Grazer, Wall of Roots, any man acceleration.
Yeah, but he's acting real cocky.
Well, his opponent's mulliganing to 5, so.
I know. Plus it's Gabe. That's the default. All right. Turn 1, Misty Rainforest, go.
Yeah, I think his hand might just be 4 lands, 2 endurances, Yawgmoth.
Well, that'll be good against a handful of bad spot removal.
That's an Arboreal Grazer. But we're probably just fetching it away.
Yeah. Wonder if Gabe was like, was it good?
Yeah. It would be pretty good here.
I agree. Wall of Roots is better. Any spell's fine, though. You just need something to do on turn 2 before you start slamming endurances to shrink the graveyard and such. The tap land, this tap steam events from Ryan Wienans leads me to believe that, not really interested in killing anything on turn 2, because most of the time it's going to be an Undying Creature or a Wall of Roots, right? So doesn't want to take the 2 damage from his shockland.
Yeah, perfectly fine there.
I think Gabe was considering changing the land since we're still resolving, thinking about maybe playing around Blood Moon, but decides to go ahead and get source. Oh, Wall of Roots, what a pickup. Twilight Mire, the land, and this 05 going to be tough for Ryan to stifle.
With Twilight Mire as the second land, I would have liked Basic Forest. Because you've got double black rolled up with the Mire.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been a bit better to play around Blood Moon, but with Wall of Roots.
And there is a Blood Moon in Winan's hand.
I know.
Nurturing Peatland, the third land for a body. And Winans find a third. There's a second Blood Moon. You got to bin that one.
Yeah, I think he doesn't even have a third land rolled up yet, so this seems like a pretty easy grave.
Oh my god, is a body going to get punished for getting the forest in game 1 and then punished for not getting it in game 2 and then punished for not getting it in game 3?
Look, sometimes when we play Magic, we learn the wrong lesson. We get punished in a spot where our decision was correct, and then the next time we make a bad decision. But what's a worse decision is casting the Expressive Iteration without a land on top. You don't have a land on top 3. This is very bad.
I think there's an island. Winans accidentally put it into his hand, but then picked it right back up. Or is that... No, is that just
It's 2 counter spells with different art, yeah.
Non-matching counter spells.
Endurance, end of turn. Gotta shuffle the graveyard in.
Now the Blood Moon is too slow. If you Blood Moon, a body just plays the second Endurance and goes beat down. Because you've got all non-basics too.
Yo, Dread. Whoa, baby, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, we've just morphed into the Rock.
This million. Someone gets Salt Malka on the line.
Nice engineered explosives.
Yeah, no kidding.
2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop.
Skips 1, goes Wall of Roots, a body rocking and rolling here, and why not even
we
with
can
the land?
bolt the Wall of Roots.
You have to imagine a body chose to put a negative counter on the Wall of Roots 1 turn ago to cast Endurance instead of taking a damage.
Look at how many sideboard cards Ryan Winans has drawn in this game. Has engineered explosives, both Blood Moons, and a Dress Down. 4 sideboard cards, and they're all terrible.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you just lose the post-sideboard war, and this is a classic example of Murktide trying to attack the mana creatures, but a body's build just, dodging all that completely.
And you got a sideboard. Okay, yeah, I like the double burn spell on your Shield Rid. You got a sideboard for your opponent's game 2 configuration, not their game 1.
Yeah, but they might not be completely aware of what the sideboard configuration even looks like. Shield is relatively new to the sideboards, and it's very strong in this type of matchup. Another attack for 3. We are going to main phase another 4-drop. Here's a Yawgmoth. Body.
Why not?
At 18, has the ability now to cash in any of his creatures to draw a card. We'll see if Ryan has any answers. No Delirium. It's looking quite bad. But here's an Expressive Iteration. If anything can bail him out, it's this. Puts card type number 2 in the grave. If he hits fetch land and holy heat, Mishra's
Also no lands.
nice. And that's a Jeej.
Yeah, the old 2-lander double iteration, never make a 3rd land. It's a tough way for it to end.
Wow. All right, another nurturing peatland. I think we're gonna smash for 5.
Yeah.
The body with a big old smile on his face.
I would just endurance right now.
Well, wow. A body with the bad manners. I hope that they're friends because they're not going to be friends after that one. Look, there's not enough showboating in Magic, if you ask me. That was very funny, but also extremely aggressive.
The BMs are real.
I think there's like maybe 30% of Twitch chat just hates a body for doing that because someone at their LGS did that to them one time and they've thought about it every day for the rest of their life. All right, here's Darcy. No land, binning it.
Yeah. DRC not even close to good enough against the other endurance. It's going to be a 1-1. Come on, Ryan. Wow. Oh, found the Fury. Oh my God. It just means we get another turn of this.
No, the game's over. We have endurance to play. We can kill the Darcy and then we just attack for lethal.
Yeah. So if you target the...
What do you target?
Yeah, now we...
No matter what you target.
We sack the Wall of Roots, float a green, sack wall, put a counter there, let the Fury go away, let the Yawg go away, then endurance the graveyard. Now we have 2 endurances attacking, and the DRC dies because it's a 1/1 with a -1/-1 counter.
Okay.
I guess it died immediately anyway, so...
Yep. And then Yawgmoth dead to the Fury. Fury goes away. Endurance with the mana floating. Attack for 6. There she blows. No subtlety in hand for Ryan Williams. He backs it in. Gabriel Body cashes his ticket to the finals. Locked for the Apex Gaming Invitational in November. And locked for at least $700 cash money. $1,500 to first place.
Looks like our other match also just finished. They're putting their decks back in the boxes.
Okay, well, we'll get confirmation on who took that down, and we'll figure out what our finals is going to look like.